This 2020 offseason will probably go down in the Bucks history books as one of the best times in franchise history, aside from them winning the NBA championship in 1971, because it's official. Giannis Antetokounmpo has signed a 5-year $228 million extension to stay in Milwaukee for the foreseeable portion of his prime. And it's not like this is surprising at all, at least to me. I've said it time and time again before that I think Giannis is real staying in Milwaukee for the long haul. But with all the things the Bucks have accomplished this offseason, are they really primed to get over the hump and go all the way? Giannis has already won his back-to-back MVPs and is also the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. But can he finally win an NBA title with Khris Middleton and now Jrue Holiday as his best teammates available? What's good guys, it's Balls here, and in this video, we'll break down if the Bucks are finally primed to win an NBA title with their upgraded roster. And now that Giannis has signed his supermax, what's next for Milwaukee? Let's get to it. The Bucks have tried year in and year out to build the best team around Giannis in recent years, or did they really? Well, in reality, it took back-to-back postseason losses to guys like Kawhi Leonard and Jimmy Butler for the Bucks to realize that what they had wasn't going to work if they were really planning to keep their superstar, or if they were realistically going to win a championship in the next few seasons. But I think that the Bucks organization were just really lucky to have a type of player like Giannis who would still choose to stick with the team despite some mishaps from the front office. Of course, you've gotta give it to them for being able to spot a talent like Giannis when they took him 15th overall in the 2013 NBA draft. But after that, they drafted the healthy Jabari Parker over an injured Joel Embiid, only to see Parker tear his ACL twice while Embiid became a franchise cornerstone for the Sixers. Then, the year after, they traded picks which would become Norman Powell and OG Anunoby to Toronto for a mere 23 games from aging point guard Greivis Vasquez, while of course, Anunoby and Powell are still key pieces to the Raptors' young core to this day. After that, in 2016, the Bucks also selected Thon Maker in the draft, one spot ahead of Domantas Sabonis. And right now, Sabonis is an all-star for Indiana, while Maker has been bouncing around the league and hasn't had the chance to really develop into the player which he was hyped to be. Well, in the same draft, they also found Malcolm Brogdon in the second round, and he actually turned out to be a real steal, turning out to be the Rookie of the Year. But in the 2019 offseason, the Bucks shipped him off to Indiana after they chose to extend Eric Bledsoe's contract instead. While of course some of those can't be the front office's fault, those things were just a combination of misfortunes and the wrong decisions, but still, the front office could have done a better job. While during those years, the Bucks still produced great results in the regular season at least, and that's expected with a talent like Giannis as your best player. But obviously, they had to figure things out quickly to get better as Giannis' free agency is fast approaching. You don't want to give your franchise player the idea that he can't win with your team. And you just have to give the Bucks credit. I think they eventually pulled off the right move just at the right time by trading for Jrue Holiday. Of course, the package that they had to pay New Orleans was a huge one. They had to ship off veterans Bledsoe and George Hill together with 3 first-rounders and 2 pick swaps. But even without seeing how Jrue fits in with Giannis yet and considering that he is only locked in for 1 season, I think this is already a big win for the Bucks. Yeah, they mortgaged a huge part of their future, but basically, they did trade not only to get Holiday but to keep Giannis as well. And yeah, the Greek Freak is only 26 and you can say that he has a lot of great seasons left. But we've already seen how championship windows quickly vanish in the NBA with just an injury to a key player or two. Plus, it's not really the time to stack picks from Milwaukee because Giannis is ready to win a championship now based on his career trajectory. And with all that said, it's time to look at how Jrue Holiday really improves the Bucks. While overall, Jrue is an upgrade from Bledsoe in a lot of ways. I think he's a much more natural fit with the Bucks system, or better yet, with the way Giannis plays. Well, Eric Bledsoe's shooting deficiencies aren't really a problem in the regular season, but it becomes more magnified in the playoffs when defenses zero in on Giannis a little bit more. And we've heard this time and time again, but it's true. Giannis needs better spot-up shooters around him. Well, Jrue Holiday is a better 3-point shooter based on career percentages and even based on catch-and-shoot metrics, and is also a much better defender. Last season alone, Bledsoe only made 26.4% of his catch-and-shoot threes. Well, it's a terrible percentage, and out of all 294 players who took 50 spot-up threes last season, only a dozen other guys shot worse than him. Holiday isn't necessarily a lights-out shooter, but he's a reasonable upgrade on that end for the Bucks. Last season, he converted 36% of his catch-and-shoot threes, and with him definitely having a lot more open looks this season because of Giannis and Brook Lopez clogging the paint, he can once again shoot almost 40% on spot-up threes like he did in 2018 when he had AD on the Pelicans. Well, Bledsoe isn't a bad defender in any way, but Holiday is just one of the best multi-positional defenders in the NBA. Last season, Jrue ranked 18th in the NBA in scoring among all guards, but I don't think there's any other player who's ranked above him in that area who can compare to what this guy brings in the defensive end. Basically, Holiday can guard the opposing team's top offensive threat or primary perimeter player from the point of attack night in and night out. This guy will just make life harder for guys like Kemba, Kyrie, or even Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons during the playoffs, and I think that's where we'll get to see his real value. Well, Holiday has only been in the playoffs 4 times during his career, but during those times he made the postseason, he's been an absolute problem. Even as a third-year player, Holiday already led Philadelphia in scoring during their second-round playoff series against the Celtics, which went 7 games. And most recently in 2018, he averaged almost 28 points and almost 7 assists as his Pelicans team swept Damian Lillard and the Blazers in the first round. Jrue Holiday isn't necessarily the biggest star out there, but is still a one-time All-Star, and he should impact any contending team in a lot of ways. Well, ideally, this team could have 3 All-Stars with Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday, but as of now, they're a team with an MVP and 2 reliable stars, and that's exactly what the Bucks have right now. Well, I'd take that any time of the day. And in my opinion, Khris Middleton is still going to be the Bucks' second best player even with this new roster. The guy has made the All-Star team for 2 straight seasons now, but I think is still very underrated for his production. Last season, Middleton averaged almost 21 points while playing only 30 minutes per game, and he shot 49% from the field and a ridiculous 42% from deep plus 92% from the line. This guy missed having 50, 40, and 90 shooting splits by only 0.003%. Yeah, it was that close. I think Middleton should have at least made the All-NBA third team, but it is what it is. If anything, he has already shown that he's more than just a catch-and-shoot 3-point shooter. We saw it when he led the Bucks to a Game 5 win against Miami when he put up 36 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists while scoring 9 points in overtime. I think that if he builds on that kind of clutch performance and all-around scoring, the Bucks will be in a much better position to contend. But of course, for them to win a championship, a lot of the burden will still fall on the Greek Freak's shoulders. That's just how it should be. Well, a lot of people have been calling him a choker. Fans have been saying that he's a Scottie Pippen who needs his Michael Jordan. But the thing is, you just can't fix something when it's not broken. When you're a back-to-back MVP and only the third player to win that award while being Defensive Player of the Year in the same season, I think you're more than fine. Of course, having a reliable outside shot will only help Giannis become a more dominant player. But realistically, I don't think there are a lot of things that indicate that he can be at least an average 3-point shooting superstar as of the moment. Last season, he shot 30% from deep, but that number dipped down to 21% in their series against Miami. Well, that's the thing. Maybe fixing his jump shot isn't really the way to go for him. I think just like what LeBron and Kobe did, polishing his post-up game is the best thing that he can do to be more dominant. While Giannis is a great player who scores tons of baskets in the paint. In fact, he belongs to the 92nd percentile of players in the NBA in terms of paint scoring. He's just that good of a player when he's close to the basket. But a lot of those points in the paint usually come when he initiates offense from top of the key on the way to driving in the paint. But in the playoffs, we saw how a great defensive team like Miami neutralized his attack by building a wall in the perimeter, which ultimately helped the Heat win. As of now, Giannis isn't as capable as LeBron or Kawhi to be a half-court initiator, but I think he'll be more than capable of creating better shots if he stays on the block while posting up. During the 2020 playoffs, he just posted up on 8% of his entire possessions. You can just imagine how much more points he can generate if he chooses to post up more. Well, Giannis just doesn't have a reliable go-to move like a quick pull-up or a fadeaway, but he has the strength to power his way through the rim. That's why I think he should prioritize having a more consistent post-up game. While in the end, the Eastern Conference is as stacked as ever compared to past seasons, and you can say that among the Celtics, Heat, Raptors, Sixers, or Nets, there could be a team or two that could change the entire narrative. But overall, I think the Milwaukee Bucks should still be the clear favorites to come out of the East this upcoming season, just as has been the case for the past couple of years. They should still be the best defensive team in the NBA. That shouldn't change now that they have Jrue Holiday. Well, his impact on the offensive end is yet to be seen, but by adding guys like DJ Augustin who can help on that end, they should do just fine. Donte DiVincenzo's further development and Torrey Craig's impact should be a welcome sight as well. But as of the moment, all eyes are still on Giannis. The Bucks have already secured him long term. The only question left is, can he lead this team to an NBA championship soon enough? Well, I think this season isn't going to be championship or bust for them. If any, they just can't lose in the playoffs as bad as they lost last season. Well, realistically, if Jrue Holiday signs a reasonable long-term extension next offseason, I think the Bucks will have at least a 3-year window to win a championship. And with a talent like Giannis as their best player, I think 3 years should be more than enough to work something out. Thank you guys for sticking till the end of the video, and feel free to drop a comment below about what you think of the Milwaukee Bucks' chances to win the NBA title this upcoming season. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, please smash that like button because it helps the channel a lot to be noticed by other fans around the NBA YouTube community. And I've recently put up an Instagram account, you might want to check it out as well for more updates. And please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet because you don't want to miss another fire NBA content which I put out regularly. So again, this is Jrue Balls and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.